You're...
Naruto Uzumaki!
I see that Kamui just now wasn't transporting the Rasengan, but the Shadow Clone itself. He beat me to it. Damn you, Kakashi! No!
Hello, what is up, Jamie fans? Josh here speaking, back again with another stop-motion review. Today we're gonna be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Naruto Uzumaki Kurama-Link mode, Courageous Strength That Binds, from of course one of Shonen Jump's longtime popular series, Naruto Shippuden. For the longest time, this particular form of Naruto is known by many fans as KCM or Kurama Chakra mode, but since Tamashii Nations officially named this figure Kurama-Link mode, we're just going to call him that in this video. Anyways, onto the figure itself. Here we have Naruto in his Kurama-Link form, and it looks so badass. Just look at how shiny this figure is. You can literally see all the lights in the room reflecting all over this figure, which makes it pop even more. I also love how the headband looks like it's flowing and how they added bits of fire effect on the elbows, the cloak, and even on the ankles. Now, I heard some people were complaining about the hair looking kinda plain in comparison to the promo images or even the prototypes that was shown on display way back when this figure was first revealed. On the prototype, you can see that the hair actually has some shading from orange to yellow, while on the final output, it looks more like a flat yellow with a little bit of orange tint. But honestly, once I got this figure on hand, I didn't even notice that at all. Because regardless of how the hair is painted, you can't deny that this figure already looks so good in general. Seriously, it looks even better in person than it is on camera. It's that good. Now moving on to accessories, Kurama-Link Naruto does come with a pretty good amount. First off, we got a total of 5 swappable faceplates. Something I do want to point out is that the faceplates on this figure has 3 pegs now, unlike the older releases which only had 2. So it does require a little bit of more effort when putting these on, just a little bit. Make sure you're pushing both sides of the faceplate in the right direction so that they would plug in properly and you won't have to leave some of those weird gappings on the sides. Just watch out for the hair because it is quite sharp. Anyways, onto the faceplates themselves, the default one is of course his confident smirking face, which did came with him in the package. Then of course we also got his trademark smiling face, an angry teeth-gritted face. We got a serious sage mode face, which looks pretty cool, and an angry silly face, which I am glad we have been getting on most Naruto figures these days. I always love getting my hands on a figure that comes with a wide variety of expressions because it just adds a lot more options in terms of playability. Anyways, moving on to the hand accessories, we do get a total of 8 pairs of hands, but before we take a look at those, you will notice that the wrist peg is now different on this figure compared to all the other releases. This type of joint actually makes the hands stay on there extra tight, which makes it a bit more difficult to plug in and out, but I'm guessing they made it that way to support the weight of the Rasengan effects, which I will be showing you later. When swapping out hands, I do want to warn you that because of the design of his sleeve, you will start to wonder how you're supposed to hold this properly when unplugging hands, so what I suggest is to grab onto his elbow as you carefully plug in and out some hands. With that said, the first pair of hands that we get are a pair of fists. It comes with a pair of widespread open hands, a pair of relaxed hands, open dynamic hands, 2 jutsu hands, 2 pointing finger hands, 2 open palm hands with black orbs that are called
Super Many-Tailed Beast Bomb! Won't let you do whatever you want!
Then finally we have 2 open palm hands with pegs for attaching effect parts, which are of course for the Rasen Shuriken as well as the giant Rasengan effects. Here's a quick comparison with the Rasen Shuriken that came from the Arthur toys, which I did review on this channel if you'd like to check that out. Here's the giant Rasengan next to the regular Rasengan that came from the 3.0 Naruto Figuarts. And while the differences in size are pretty obvious from these two, the size of the giant Rasengan isn't exactly accurate. This is how an actual giant Rasengan looks in the anime, and this thing doesn't even come close to that. But then again, they might have scaled it down on purpose because obviously this figure won't be able to support an actual big-ass Rasengan effect, so I do understand why they had to do that, and overall, I do still love how this effect turned out regardless. Just wanted to point out that in terms of accuracy, it should have been bigger. Also, while this Rasengan is made out of a solid plastic, these wind effects attached all over it are made out of a more softer plastic. So that way you won't have to worry about it breaking if it falls down on your shelf. However, the same thing cannot be said for the Rasen Shuriken effect, as this one is just a one piece of solid plastic, so you do gotta be more careful with this one. Alright, so now let's go over the articulation. Just like most of the other SH Figuarts Naruto releases, this figure does have some pretty good range around the head. The only negative I did find is that when he looks down, the back of his head does reveal a bit of gapping in there. His headband has a hinge to move up and down. We got some decent range on the arms that can rotate, elbow bend, wrist rotation, move down and up. Ab Crunch can move just about that much, a bit hindered due to this belly piece. However, I do understand that they wanted to make this circle look as clean as possible, and in the end, it does look better that way. So aesthetics over articulation. Of course, it can move back as well. Torso can move side to side and tilt side to side. Legs can move back, forward, out, thigh rotation, bend at the knee, foot rotation, ankles move down, up, and side to side pivot. Now for some height comparisons, here is Kurama-Link Naruto next to the 3.0 Naruto SH Figuarts. Here he is next to the Obito and Kakashi SH Figuarts. Next here we have him alongside the SH Figuarts Sakura and Sasuke. Here he is next to some Revoltech My Hero Academia figures, some Figma figures, and Marvel Legends. Alright, so now for the conclusion, I ain't gonna lie, this figure is a solid S tier, man. Just the overall look of this figure is so good. The printing on each faceplates are also so much better in comparison to the previous figures. Maybe an angry shouting expression, not a comedic one, but a combat shouting face, I think would have been great to have on this figure, since Kurama-Link form is basically Naruto going all out, so he's constantly doing a lot of massive attacks, which would make sense to him to have a screaming face. Though they did give us 5 expressions already, so maybe I'm asking for a little bit too much. Now I know a lot of people are hesitant on picking this up because it is a P-Bandai exclusive. If you're unfamiliar with that, it basically means you can only get this figure from the premium Bandai website, or if you order it from a reseller that bought this figure from premium Bandai. Which if you do, you are going to be paying for more than $100, so I can totally understand why people wouldn't want to spend that much money on this figure. But then again, this is our only option for this particular version of Naruto. Unless you want to wait for anime heroes to make their version, which they have already done Sage of 6 Paths, but that doesn't really look the greatest. To be fair, this figure does live up to the hype in my opinion. The moment I got it out of the box, I instantly fell in love with it. It's one of those figures that makes you forget how much money you've spent on it, at least when I'm buying a figure. If the figure I bought makes me completely forget that I spent this amount of money on it and just couldn't stop messing around with it, that's a sign that the figure is great. To me at least. So what I can advise for you is that if you love Naruto, if you love all the other SH figures released in this line so far, then you have to get it. Yes, I know it's not cheap, I'm not telling you to break the bank or anything just to get your hands on this, but instead, save up. Save up and get this figure as soon as you can. Because once this sells out, it's going to be even harder for you to get it. It's already expensive as it is, and it's going to be even more expensive once the figure is nowhere to be found. Thankfully for me, I did have my buddy Jamesimu Prime help me get this figure for a decent price, so shout out to him. He makes Godzilla stop motions over on his channel, and he also owns a store here in Manila. I've left the link down in the description if you want to check him out, just take note that he only ships within the Philippines. So yeah, definitely a great figure, get it, it's totally worth it as long as you can get it for a good price. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more contents. Thank you so much for watching, peace out.